On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, it's dancing goats and farting mules.
And Metatron. Let's do this. Of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
I'm Liz.
And we're going to talk about Season 8, Episode 21, The Great Escapist.
Escapist. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could escape from this heat.
Oh.
There's a weather joke for you.
Yeah. Lots of weather.
Wacky weather is just happening now.
All over the place.
Is it the apocalypse? I don't know. There's a bunch of memes going around like the weather was all cute this afternoon, not like it didn't try to kill us this morning, but yeah. But we got to see each other in person this week. Yay. That was exciting. Yay!
Just a brief visit, but Babe got to go play bass with the Hot Rod Hillbillies opening for the Necromantics in beautiful San Antonio. So we got to go do that. It was fun.
Yep, and nobody got stabbed.
No stabbings.
That's a success.
and then yeah, I got to celebrate my niece's birthday with a very mediocre hibachi chef.
Aww.
I say that. The restaurant and the food were fine. Our chef was not the A team.
Was he not into it? Was he not feeling it?
Well, he didn't do anything with the eggs, and then he definitely almost set my mom's face on fire. So, I mean,
did he care that he almost set her face on fire?
Oh, he looked terrified.
Okay.
He looked terrified.
At least he was concerned. At least it wasn't just like, and then whatever.
No, he was very concerned. He knew he was not doing well. And then, and got some pool time in, and then the weather got weird. That's what I got. My life. That's my weekend.
It's a fun life, fun weekend.
We got crazy ass hail in Dallas. I'll say that. And then we've had power outages and some wild storms, trees down, major power issues all over the city. So it's pretty chaotic. But I got power right now. For now. So here we go. How about you? I know we hung out.
And the weather for me has not been wacky. It's just been really, really humid. And I did go forest bathing at the botanical garden, and there was far too much sharing during forest bathing. Like, I felt like, I went to go do something that was meditative, and I didn't really want to talk about it, with strangers.
And they wanted to talk about it.
So the way that it was set up, and part of me goes, God damn it, why can't I just milk all these wellness people like they do? So there was a leader and she had an assistant, and she's a really cool chick, right? And she had little blocks for people to sit on, because apparently you were either supposed to bring a yoga mat or a blanket and not sit on the ground. I just figured we'd be sitting on the ground because it was called forest bathing, but apparently you don't sit on the ground. And so the first thing that she did was she led everybody through something which is kind of a basic meditation. Have you ever seen it's a grounding technique you've often seen for anxiety, which is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you start off with kind of name 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, but it was something like that, where you were going through basically each of your senses with the environment around you. And we're sitting in the amphitheater of the botanical gardens, and it's kind of mostly private, but there are still some people you can who are just touring. The gardens was not shut down for the forest panthers, right? We still had to pay extra to go sit and to go sit with this lady, but so she goes through that, and then she was I'm gonna pass the energy ball around if anybody wants to talk. And the guy in front of me grabs the energy ball, which if you don't know is not a thing that's real. And he talks
it's a mime ball.
Yeah, and then he like just starts, I don't know, he was like, I felt like he was hippie name dropping like places he had been or whatever. So I'm trying not to judge these people, but it's so hard not to. And so that's why I don't want to say anything, because I know that I am judging everybody else even though I'm not supposed to. And so I also know that they are doing the same to me. And each of there was kind of like different like cliques of people who were there, and after, so we had like the first one, and then she like let us go listen to things, and she's like, you can put your your ear up to a tree and listen to it, and like, you could do that, you could, I mean, that's how you get bugs in your ears, but I mean, you could do that.
Sounds itchy.
I don't feel it's gonna end well. I mean, I get pretty close to trees, I'm not gonna lie, like they're cool, but so I was off and I was like looking at these weird little cactus area, and all I could hear was somebody's like drill team, and I don't know like what basic they were. It was like a military drill team that was doing like da 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 da, like that shit was going. Call and response was happening, and I'm like, that is not the. I do not hear the nature, and like I'm just hearing like that. And so then, I went back and kind of sat, and like everyone she passed the energy ball around again for everyone to share their experiences. I'm like, and then we did another one where she let us, we were supposed to go around and like look really deep, and I like turn, I'm in this area and I turn, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty grasshopper. And then I see this bird flop in and just eats the grasshopper and like flies away. And I was like, that's what I saw. But I didn't like, so then we go back and she passes this energy ball. I'm like, I'm not going to share that. Like, but that's what I felt. Yeah, and then we like went to like a different part of the botanical garden where they have the culinary garden, and took some leaves from a basil tree. And she let like everybody like, because it was, I guess I don't know if it was like a Shinto ritual or what, which is kind of like is based on some different like Japanese forest meditations where after you commune with the earth and like, you're taking and consuming it or some crap like that. So she was like, oh, she was passing scissors around it, and me, I'm just like, this is very inefficient. Like, can you just take the leaves off the thing and make us the tea? Like, we don't all like, I mean, I guess I'm not that spiritual when it comes to this stuff. I'm like, to just take the leaves off the, I guess that's not the point. But so she made tea by basically putting these basil leaves in and pouring hot water over them. And then it was kind of like, it was like this lime basil. So it was actually kind of pleasant like water. I never really thought of doing that before. And that could be nice, Yeah. So I learned something new. And the guide is leaving to go up to Alaska and spend her summers up there leading forest meditations. So hopefully she doesn't get eaten by a bear.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
It would be, but also just like people just pay her to like, I will take people into the woods. It's like when we were talking
and make them
to
hold
like
an energy ball and then make some pour some hot water on some basil.
Yeah, I mean, we can add some cryptid hunting to it if you want.
Why not?
I can find some things for you to hunt in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, DM me if you want me to. I will be your forest guide. I will teach you how to forest meditate. I just took a class. I'm a master. I think I get some kind of certificate in the mail, I'm sure. And I can lead this now. And so for like, I don't know, like $500, I will take you into the forest.
You're trained.
I'm not saying I'll take you back out.
That's details.
I will take you into the forest and leave you some breadcrumbs. But anyways, so that sounds like escapism, or escapist, or like the Great Escapist. I don't think there's any new news in SVN land right now. So
no, we had a bunch last week, so nothing new to this week that I know of.
Yeah, nothing that I saw. So. All right, so this was The Great Escapist, and it was season 8, episode 21. It first aired May 1st, 2013. This was directed by Robert Duncan McNeil, and we have not seen him direct since season 1, episode 6 Scan. And he most recently is known for doing the voice for Lieutenant Tom Paris in Star Trek Lower Decks, and is also an executive producer and director of 10 episodes of Resident Alien, which I know we both enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
And also, along with George Takei and Robert Picardo, is one of only 3 Star Trek regulars who have worn all 3 color uniforms. He wore the red command uniform in every episode of Star Trek Voyager in 1995, the gold Operation Security in Worst Case Scenario 1997, and the blue medical science uniform in Author 2001. Interesting, weird trivia that you may probably never ever use, but we'll know. And it was written by Ben Edlund. So there we go. So we start off with a recap that's mostly about Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. We got our Angel tablet and Castiel. Of course, we're a bunch about Kevin, a bunch about the trials, and Sam's struggle. But we also get a hint of Naomi in here. So,
Naomi.
So our episode opens with Kevin on the boat.
It looks like he's a Mr. Fizzle.
What the fuck? Kevin got abducted last we saw by Crowley. So this is weird. And he is studying and still trying to translate.
And I appreciate his post-it notes of crazy. That is also one of my favorite research methods.
I do love a good post-it note. I use them a lot. And there's a knock at the door, and it's Sam and Dean. And there it is just, but Dean didn't do the secret knock, which is weird. And Kevin's like got a super soaker full of holy water, and he's shooting them with it. And
that's a question I have, knowing like, you know what, I'm just gonna break our wall now because we know they're demons. What? Like, did they like have fake holy water on in the?
It must have been fake because it was controlled by the demons.
Yeah.
So they just gave him water and said it was holy water. But why aren't we using super soakers more often? Is my bigger question. We've seen them come up every once in a while, and I'm like, why is this just not a regular occurrence?
It seems they seem like they would be handy, but I don't know.
So anyway, so now we are knowing, like, because we're all sus watching this, so we know that this ain't real because we know Kevin got abducted. So this is a demon Sam, a demon Dean, and they are telling Kevin about how, oh yeah, they laid a trap and they got the other half of the tablet. This is your light at the end of the tunnel. Now you can figure out the third trial. And Sam calls Kevin Special K and to keep his nose to the Godstone. And they're going to go make some distraction away from the safe boat so that he can keep studying. And
Kevin's just pretty much ignoring them, though. He's just like heads down.
Mm-hmm. So as they exit, they walk through like a weird like portal wall, but it basically now they change into the demons that they are. It's a simulation being overseen by Crowley as he's acting like as a director shooting a TV show. It's actually a pretty entertaining setup.
It is like the whole like way that it's set up to be exactly like a TV show. Like, yeah. And then I always do love a meta within a meta because behind this there was like people who are actually set up like that. So it's just, and then if you put some mirrors in front of them, you can make this go on forever.
And so now Crowley knows that there are 3 trials but he totally calls out our demon Sam for his use of slang that's going to tip off Kevin.
Because Sam is more basic than Dean.
And but it makes a comment that he's going to have to wipe Kevin's short-term memory again. So apparently that explains why Kevin doesn't automatically suspect this because he doesn't remember getting abducted because his short-term memory's been wiped.
And that just cannot, much like the amount of times that Sam gets hit on the head, this just cannot be good for your brain. It just, it's got to be zapping pieces away. Like poor Kevin, he's just not going to do well. But then we also get Crowley saying that he was born to direct and it's really hot.
So over in the bunker, Dean has made John's cure-all chicken soup stew.
That sounds disgusting.
Who looks like shit. And he is wrapped in a blanket. He obviously has like a severe fever. It is just not good.
No, he has tuberculosis. He's got Dean's like the bloody handkerchief, the shaking legs, the fever. It's just not, it's fucking tuberculosis. Get him some antibiotics.
Consumption?
He has the consumption.
Consumption. And Dean's comment that does not make the soup sound any better is that it has enough cayenne to burn your lips off.
That's a dude thing, right? Like, I think I like spicy food, but I'm not just going to be like, here's some cayenne pepper in this shit.
Well, I mean, like, I was trying to think about it because I'm like, well, if I don't feel well, sometimes you want something, you don't have good, like.
No, I
taste.
do spicy soups when I'm sick, but I just don't.
It's great when you're sick, but you just don't dump a fuck ton.
It's just, they don't get spicy just by being, here's cayenne.
Yeah, that's not, no. Cayenne's used sparingly. That's anyways. So but Dean's being a little nurse. He's got a little thermometer. He wants to take Sam's temperature and all that. But Sam gets mad. He's like, yeah, I know I'm fucking sick, but we need to start the third trial. That's it. Boom. And Dean's comment, he's like, I need to start this. And Dean's like, I wouldn't let you start a moped. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah, but I do think Sam also has this really good point that I think being sick is kind of part of this.
Yeah.
And which is like, duh. Like, what do you think? Like, it's a trial. Like, you can't just, it's not just as easy as stabbing a poor dog.
No. But they get an alert in the middle of this argument because they have an email from Kevin. And it is an encrypted video that was set up to auto send if he didn't do something every week.
He had to reset. He had to basically, I think he said something about resetting a server or something, but he said something that wasn't real. But it basically was if you don't hear from me within 7 days, I am dead.
Yeah. So he's saying he's dead and that, and he is mad. He's like, if you've seen this, that means I'm dead. And screw you, screw God. It means Crowley got to me. And I'm not gonna, I don't know what's going, it's just basically, this is all your fault, but I'm uploading all of my fucking notes because I'm not going to break with Crowley this time. And I have figured things out and I'm just sorry I couldn't. And then he starts crying and it ends.
Yeah, and it's very heartbreaking. And also now it dawns on the Winchesters that maybe Kevin didn't run. What the fuck, you guys, man. Like, this should have been something that you thought about for a while. Beyond just looking. Like, why weren't you looking up these alleys too? Looking up your demon alleys. But anyhow, so now they decide that, okay, we've got to go down this avenue. So Sam starts printing out the notes.
Yeah. And so they are going to do all of this research. But while he's printing all these notes out, Dean's on the phone talking about where the fuck Kevin is. And we figure out that Garth is missing also right now. So that's kind of a weird thing. He's like, anyways, so, but Sam
apparently he's out making out with Benny is what he's doing.
What? Bow chicka bow wow. But Sam makes a really good point here, and they never really come back to this. But he points out that, well, if Kevin's actually dead, shouldn't one of the other prophets have been activated?
This is like Buffy. Once one Slayer is down, a new one is chosen. And they have the lineup of the prophets. So they should know, like, when a new one is coming. So Kevin's not dead.
Right, but they don't really ever say that or really address it. They just kind of are like, meh. They just kind of say that and then move on. But Dean is very upset. He's like, look, he feels very guilty. It's a little should. And says they should have moved Kevin to the bunker. But
why didn't they do that?
I don't know. I was confused about that when they put him on the boat. But anyway, so well, didn't they put him on the? Well, they put him on the boat before they had the bunker. And then,
he went on the boat before they found the boat. I think. No,
well, why wouldn't you move him then? I don't know. Anyways, so we cut to a Biggerson's in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where Castiel is drinking a cup of coffee because he's developed a taste for it.
And he remembers that man learned to chew coffee beans by watching goats. He says, yes, that legend is true. And now we're going to learn about that legend. It's lore. Folklore.
Caffeinated. I'm just kidding.
Caffeinated. So this story is, I'm reading you the version I found on allthat'sinteresting.com. And it was written by John, no last name, and edited by Savannah Cox in 2015. But it's this basic story, and if you look it up, it's an Ethiopian folk tale, and you mainly find it on Google looking on coffee sites, right? Because it's one of those, this is the origin of coffee. It's one of the tales behind it. Okay. And it's Caldi. I think that's how you say it, but that's what we're going to say. Caldi and the Dancing Goats. And the story goes that over a millennium ago, a young boy named Caldi lived with his family in Ethiopia. Caldi's job was to tend the goats in the fields. His family was nomadic, moving every few months to a new site in a cycle that had been repeated for generations. One day, Caldi grew bored of watching the goats and started playing songs on his wooden pipe. Time passed. When Caldi looked up to check on the goats, they were gone. Caldi went searching for them, playing his pipe as he walked through the fields and groves of trees. Finally, he found his herd, and that was when he saw the strangest scene of his life. The goats were dancing. Caldi thought they were possessed. He watched them for a while and discovered they were eating bright red beans from bushes with shiny leaves. He ate some of the beans himself and immediately began dancing with the herd. Later, Caldi carried samples of this mysterious plant to a local Sufi monastery. After some skepticism, the monks partook of the strange beans. That night, their midnight prayers came easily. The monks stayed up for hours, praying in the state of spiritual ecstasy that they had always sought. They embraced the consumption of coffee, for that is what Caldi had discovered, as a vehicle towards mystical visions. Okay, I love this story for many reasons. First of all, they're dancing goats, right?
That's what I say. Obviously, dancing goats are the number one thing here.
That is the number one thing. And also, I just want my life once. Why do I never come across a field of dancing goats? And I like that this man's first idea after seeing like these goats being insane is, I want to be this insane, and I'm going to eat whatever the shit is that they are eating.
Yeah. First thought.
And then, like, the monks... And
they ate this bean thing and berry thing, and it made them fucking dance? Goats aren't supposed to dance. I better eat one of these, too.
And, like, are the goats dancing on, like, 2 legs? Are they on 4 legs? Like, are they dancing with each other? Are they doing a line dance? Like, what is going on with the goat dance? That is what I want to know.
Are they two-stepping?
Are they two-stepping? There could be, square dancing. There could be so many... They could be break dancing. And there, I'm sure there's a lot of goat puns in here that I am missing. I'm going to kick myself later. But... yeah, and also the fact that the monks were just like, we're going to get high off this coffee, and that's how we see God.
Right.
Which, I mean, not to be fair, that's the most times I thought I've seen God. It's not been, it hasn't been a red bean, but anyways, so that is what that reference was. It was a throwaway line, but I had never heard that. And so of course I heard goats, and I was like, I have to see what this is about. So there you go.
I love it. And I drink a fuck ton of coffee. So
do you dance? Do you get into the state of spiritual ecstasy?
But like, if you define that as not being a fucking bitch in the morning.
Go back to enjoying your coffee, not just using it as a means to stay.
I do enjoy my coffee. My coffee makes me happy, and it wakes me up, and yes, I like the caffeine, but I enjoy my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I do like drinking coffee, so that's awesome. I like it. I like my coffee and my cigarette in the morning. Oh, that's a great.
But also a cup of coffee after a meal. Like after you're really full,
espresso,
that's also really
nice.
Espresso.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. But a lot of times I can't have coffee after a meal because it's nighttime and I won't sleep.
And don't bother me.
I can do decaf.
What's the point?
I know, it's sad. So,
anyhow, I think if like you moved to Italy, you would get used to it and be fine. So, I just think that's the kind of lifestyle I want to live. Is where I have a night where I have a lot of wine with my dinner, and then I have coffee. That's not the lifestyle I'm living now. But anyways, that's a Mediterranean diet, right? It's drinking wine with dinner and then drinking coffee afterwards.
I did that in Mexico.
They keep saying that. So anyhow, all right. So he gets told that sad thing, but it's true because servers need money and so do the restaurant. Hey, you can't just sit on this table with a cup of coffee forever.
I remember when they made that rule at the IHOP, we all hung out, and it was very sad. Somebody always had to order the French fries. So they let us stay. Anyways, he orders these Smart Heart beer battered tempura tenders, and I was amused. And then everything starts shaking, and he says they're getting closer, and he flaps out.
Yes, which subsequently freaks out the kid waiting tables.
So freaked out. This kid is freaked the fuck out, and his manager thinks he's on drugs.
On the crack again. And like he said, again. Apparently he's been on the crack before.
On the crack or the crap? I thought he was on the crap again.
Oh, I heard crack.
I mean, I felt bad if this kid's a crackhead. I just assumed that.
That's what I thought. I was like, damn.
Damn. Just went straight for it. And we've got 2 suited up angel henchmen there now.
And they've just flapped in. And then they go back up to
Nahomi's office. And basically, he explains what Castiel is doing, because we as the viewer haven't seen this yet, which is that Castiel is going to Biggersons all across the country. We see the whole list. We see Palm Bay, Florida.
Sorry, you're going to stop. I need to move. This sounds like a bee.
It did kind of sound like you were peeing, but
I was pouring wine into a glass. I did not mute myself. Sorry, I was not peeing, just so you know. Okay.
Not peeing.
Go back to the Biggersons.
Biggersons, we got Palm Bay, we got Florida, Denver, Colorado, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Portland, Oregon, St. Louis, Missouri. Because what he's doing is, because they're all so the same, the angels can't differentiate them. So he's able, and they can't orient themselves on it. So he just picks which one next and bounces around, and they just can't catch him because there's too many. But Naomi, big mad about this.
But it's so smart. It's such a great plan. Really? And I do feel like that as someone who is, especially if you really road travel, like... Mm-hmm. Hotels all really do look the same, and there's no way like I can tell like what state I was in by my hotel, right? So I can imagine trying to look for somebody and just being, God damn it, like where are you? Why are you in all these Biggersons?
Yeah. So she just says make him stop. And back at the bunker, Sam and Dean are looking through Kevin's notes, but Sam notices there's a symbol that he said it's kind of referenced as like Metatron's editor notes kind of a thing, but he recognizes it from a humanities course at Stanford about a Native American tribe in Colorado.
The shit, like, I don't know, like that 1 year of a year at Stanford, you took a lot of classes, but
you remember that? That's the other thing. I'm like, oh.
No, I do remember things from my magic, ritual, and religion anthropology class that I took in undergrad that everybody just took because it was about like drugs. And, like there are things in there I remember. They're all about, drugs, but not the terraglyph that I saw on, but I have
they didn't offer that class.
I have seen actual terraglyphs and I do not remember what was on them.
Well, apparently
much less one that I saw in a lecture 7 years ago.
Apparently this symbol means messenger of God.
Yes.
And so Sam's like, well, we got to go to fucking Colorado.
He also belonged to a small clan that survived being wiped out when all the other tribes were. So this is one that was like left.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Spooky and mystical, ancient.
Mm-hmm. And so they are going to go, even though Dean is not sold on this plan.
Because Sam looks like he has consumption.
And we've got Cass is just cycling through Biggersons. But then he's back in Santa Fe.
So if he's going that fast through them, like what are these people in the Biggersons seeing?
Oh, it's probably terrifying.
Like, he's there. He's not there. He's not there. Or are they just so, like, dazed out? They're like, whatever.
I don't know. Maybe
someone's at table 5.
Some
table 5.
Some dude in a trench coat drinking coffee. Well,
are his hands above the table? I guess we're fine.
Back in Santa Fe, it's a bloodbath. And poor Kara, the waitress's eyes have been burned out like they are when you see an angel. It's very sad.
It's very sad. It is very well done, but it is gore. This is a freaking gore scene, and her eyes are so, and then it just like gets worse because she's just like a creepy doll.
Yeah, she just keeps repeating. She's crying. Well, crying noises. I guess she's not really crying. She doesn't have fucking eyes. And just saying, he has to stop. He has to stop. Or tell Castiel, they said he has to stop. Tell Castiel, they said he has to stop. Has to stop over and over. And then the two angel henchmen are there with blades to Castiel.
Yep. And then we go from there to Route 34, Colorado, at the Two Rivers Hotel and Casino.
Mm-hmm. Which looks really cute. But there's no one there.
It's very,
Empty
very dark.
casinos.
And there's some, but a lot of slot machines, and that looks like my dream. I can just go play all these slot machines and not be around people.
But you can't play table games. I like card games sometimes.
Maybe if there was like a ghost dealer.
Well, they've a Native American man greets them at the counter. Well, I say greets a strong word.
Yeah, he just looks very confused, and they're like, "We want a room." He's like, "What?"
He's like, he just looks at them incredulously, and Sam's hearing noises. Everything's blurry. He's got drunk vision.
He's taking the brown acid.
And then Dean tells the receptionist guy, I guess the hotel manager, that Sam has the flu. I just don't think that's a very good thing to say at a hotel. But anyways.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm bringing in somebody with an infectious disease. Can we have a room?
Yeah. But anyway, so back at the Biggersons, Kara's still crying about how Castiel has to stop with no eyes. And then Naomi appears and just really heartlessly just snaps her. Well, I guess puts her out of her misery. I don't know. Kills Kara. And I like Castiel reminds Naomi that you're supposed to be the shepherd, not a murderer.
The fuck you doing, Naomi? And then she is like, well, remember the time we killed all those babies in Egypt? And Cass is like, but I wasn't there. And I'm like, oh, you were.
You just don't remember because I've been fucking with your brain too much.
Oh. But I mean, I guess that's a good thing to get taken out of your head.
Yeah,
I'd probably be okay with losing that memory if I was with Cass, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was thought of baby murdering, and that seems like something I wouldn't want to remember.
That seems like a bad memory. So Castiel, she's calling out Castiel for never doing what he's told and that he won't even die right. But all she wants to know now is where the angel tablet is. Castiel has a response for her. He says, in words of my friend, bite me.
Yeah, she's not fans of that. So she sends the angels off to look in the Biggersons.
Yeah. Back in Kevin's simulation, our demons, Sam and Dean, are there, and Kevin's like, hey guys, I need food. And he puts together a massive order. He wants barbecue ribs, garlic mashed potatoes, mixed greens with baby lettuce, cornbread, and pad thai.
Yeah, so he wants a lot of food.
That means more than one stop. That's asking a lot. I'm just saying.
Yeah, especially
during
during this time, you couldn't do a pre-order on an app. Like, you really had to go and you had to wait. Mm-hmm. But then your food would also be cold. Like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's all bad. But either way, so then as they leave, Crowley's like, oh, this Sam and Dean they're not half bad, you know, and he's all proud of it. And they all agree, and his little fake TV crew is agreeing with him and tells Crowley that he would have made a great Dean.
I really would like to see that. Yeah. I would like to see Mark Sheppard doing Dean here.
That would be funny. So we back at our hotel. Sam and Dean realize they are the only fucking guests here. That sounds so creepy and awful. And I know you're going to be like, my dream.
Yeah, but also, are the beds getting changed? Sheets getting put on the beds?
So
is it how much dusty? What is happening? What has been going on the past 6 years? I don't get it.
I don't know, but Sam's having having very vivid memories of his very, very young age, and Dean is can barely remember this of them going to the Grand Canyon, and the donkey that Dean was riding was farting a lot apparently, and Sam thinks this is hysterical.
Well, and there is an episode, I forgot to mark down which one it was, way, way back when Dean said, in all the times we've crossed the country, I've never been to the Grand Canyon. So either he forgot or they messed up.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so...
But also farting mules are funny.
Yeah, we got dancing goats and farting mules this episode. I mean, we're on a roll with the animals. So, yeah. Well, Dean's going to go see this museum in town and try to find out some more info about what the fuck's going on here. And Sam thinks he's going to go follow our hotel manager, aka Dr. Scowly Scowl, who looks like a Scooby-Doo villain. He does.
Totally does.
So, at the museum, Dean is talking to the curator, for lack of a better term.
I thought it was a gift shop, so whatever.
Or it's like a gift shop museum thing. And the guy's telling him about how a great spirit messenger saved them, and their only offering to him was to bring him stories. So, but then Dean recognizes
they would also get a lot of blessings if they did that, right? So they had to leave him gifts, which are stories, and then they get a lot of blessings.
Yes. And Dean notices that their hotel manager is in like this really old photo.
And that's a little sus.
Mm-hmm. So back in the hotel, Sam wakes up and he decides to leave the room and stumbles down this very long, creepy hallway and hides as he sees the hotel manager stacking boxes outside the door to another room.
It looks like my house.
I was going to make some like jokes about internet ordering addictions or issues or Amazon problems or whatever, but we'll leave that.
That literally is a Tuesday over here. Just boxes of books showing up. So
yeah, lots of boxes, and it is full of books. So and it's Oliver Twist is the one he finds. So it's stories. So Sam stumbles back to their room, calls Dean, and as Dean answers, he passes out, which is going to make Dean really worried. And I felt really bad for him because I would be very distraught.
But at least he's like there.
Yes.
He's not far.
No, he's in town. He's nearby. Back at the Biggersons, Cass is getting punched because they have not been able to locate the angel tablet at any of the Biggersons they went to.
And they're not happy about that. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, bam, here comes Crowley. And he is what?
He's shoots the angel henchman.
This is the first time we've ever seen angels get shot. What the hell is happening? What is going on?
It's very odd. Very weird. But we cut back to the hotel anyways because Sam wakes up in what? What does he wake up in, Liz?
Well, it's supposed to be an ice bath, but when I was typing my notes, I looked earlier and it said ass bath. But I guess like all baths are kind of ass baths.
I mean, I guess they are, technically. I mean, if you don't put your ass in, that'd be weird. That'd be a really weird bath.
Anyway, so Sam says Metatron is here. And we almost had a Metatron versus Megatron quiz, but I figured we'll save that for another day. It's there, so just prepare. That's going to happen at some point.
Damn it.
I mean, you can study up now if you want.
So Sam's like, look, I can hear Metatron, and he's got a fuck ton of books, which are the stories, which is what he's giving blessings for getting. So, back in the Biggersons, Crowley explains why he's able to shoot the fucking angels, because apparently one of his guys melted down an angel blade and made bullets out of it. What the fuck? It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty smart. And then Naomi is like, I'm just going to go all glowy then.
Yeah, and he shoots, but she disappears. So we figure out, though, that one of the angels is dead, of the angel henchman is dead. The other one is not. He's just slightly injured because he's working for Crowley.
He's a double angel agent.
Double angel agent.
Double A.
Well.
Like a battery.
Yeah. And...
Not
so now Cass is shot in the gut by Crowley.
But he's not dead. So now I'm going like, what the fuck is going on with these angel bullets? Like, do they work? Do they not work? I don't understand. Because what does the angel blade have to like get you in a certain place to kill you? Because that's not always true. Fuck. Get your damn cannon straight.
No,
so
very, very unclear and confusing.
So we go back to Mr. Fizzle, which I want to call the Fishizzle.
The Fishizzle. And Kevin is telling them that he can't make out their writing because of where the break in the stone is, and he needs the other half.
Yep, and so I just need the other tablet. Go get it.
So we pop over to Crowley's office, and we've got an injured Castiel and the double agent Angel. And Castiel's like, I'm never going to tell you where the other half is.
No, you're never going to get it out.
And Crowley's pretty smart, though, as much as he's a jerk face. And he's like, well, Naomi thinks that touching the tablet is it broke her hold on you. So maybe, and because, maybe you wouldn't ever let it like get away from you then.
Maybe you never stop touching it. Mm-hmm. So where could you have put it? Where is it?
So gross. He reaches inside the bullet hole and pulls out a giant piece of tablet from Castiel's tum-tum.
Yeah, so somehow he's made a prison pocket out of his chest.
It's a belly button prison pocket.
Oh, that's just nasty.
I don't know. It's very gross and weird.
How did he get the tablet inside of him? I don't know. I don't know.
That's the confusing part.
Oh, is it confusing? I don't know. There's a few ways it could go in.
I think flying up or down. I mean, I think he probably just like pushed it through his skin. I don't know. I can't process that information, so we're just gonna...
I don't know. Oh, so the angel looks sad at this. Although he should just look disturbed. But
yeah, it's not sad. It's not the right emotion here. But Crowley's phone rings because he's all proud of himself, and it's our Demon Sam and Demon Dean, and they are in a storage room. And we've got Dirty Jukebox by the Beagle Brothers playing, which is a tune often used in kind of silly scenes. And basically, Kevin knew they were fake and tricked them. And the other half of the tablet's not where they are.
And now they're in a a devil's trap. Ah.
They are.
I feel like we should have a
devil's trap. Yeah.
I did my shoulder hurt, so I did that.
So Crowley's pissed because he's like, this is supposed to be a good moment. You just fucking ruined it. So he leaves the angel double agent henchman to watch Castiel while he goes to unfuck this. Back at the hotel, Dean's like, Sam, you gotta go to the fucking ER. But Sam's like, no, I remember things. I remember you reading to me when I was a kid. And all these other things, and I've got to go on this quest like Galahad.
And I can't say that I have never had to use the walls of a hotel hallway as a guide to get to someplace else.
But he's also convinced that the trials are purifying him,
which is kind of an interesting take a lot on, especially if you think of someone's pointed out, in Christian mythology that purgatory is where souls get cleansed before they go to heaven. Right. So, the fact that he has now been through hell and through purgatory. So, according to that, he would have been some kind of cleanse. But that by that logic, though, Dean also went to purgatory. So, he would also have been cleansed, and he did not get tuberculosis.
Yeah. But he's not intentionally going through the trials.
Right. But, yeah. So, I don't know.
Either way, they get to this other hotel room where the boxes were, but their boxes are gone, but the door is slightly ajar. So they enter like they do. And this room is like stacks and stacks and stacks of books. Stacks on books on books.
It must smell so good. And have so many little bugs in there. Anyways, so.
And then the gun cocks and there is someone pointing a gun at them. and wants to
Metatron?
know who they are and tells them to sit down when they ask if this is Metatron. Yeah. And he wants to know who sent them and if they work for Michael or Lucifer. And Sam's like, wait, you haven't heard of us? We're the freaking Winchesters.
Yeah, and his tinnitus is picked up real bad.
Oh, it's so bad. It's uncomfortable to watch. I feel bad.
And uncomfortable to listen to.
Not too. Yeah. So back in Crowley's office, which appears from the window to be in a Korean attorney's storefront. Just random.
Yeah.
Crowley's asking the double agent Angel, like, how far are you gonna let this go? And he's
a nihilistic angel. He's just like, the world, nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing matters. And
nothing really
Castiel
matters.
says, it all matters. And he pulls the bullet out of his gut.
He takes out his angel shrapnel.
So here's the thing I have to ask too, though. So if the bullet went in, did it not hit the tablet and then wouldn't have been in front of the tablet when they pulled the tablet out? Or did that stop the bullet? And is that why he didn't die?
Maybe that's why he didn't die.
It's still weird. Anyways.
Oh, and that's why Crowley knew he could shoot him, because he knew, like, the tablet would stop it?
Maybe. I mean, that's a lot for you to leave for your audience to guess at.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, you got me there, I guess. So then Crowley kicks down the door to the boat.
Yeah. He big mad. He's got a bloody tablet, and Kevin is calmly eating his ribs, which I appreciate. And basically, he figured it out he first started figuring it out when they forgot the secret knock. And also because even on their best day, Sam and Dean wouldn't go into town for barbecue and pad thai for dinner when there's frozen burritos there.
Yeah, they certainly would not have gone to two places. That would have been a whole go fuck yourself. So the bottom line is the demons were too nice.
Yeah. So back in Metatron's room, Dean's like, yeah, we put both Michael and Lucifer in the deep fryer. Gabriel and Raphael are fucking dead. And Sam's like, can you turn down the fucking ringing? So, and he's like, oh, Sam's resonating because he's doing the trials. That's what this is called, is resonating.
So he's resonating with the word.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds like a really bad hippie album or something.
It does. Sounds like some real hippie shit in general. And he's like, oh, I had to be careful because I'm not an archangel. I'm just was pulled from the secretarial pool to write stuff down and write these instructions for God. And then God was gone and the archangels took over and they were cried because they wanted their father back. But
power corrupted them. They started getting all schemy. Mm-hmm. And so they needed the word of God. So
to take over for themselves. And so Metatron knew they need him, so he disappeared. Which, as Dean calls out, it's kind of putting your head in the sand. But back over in the office, we've got our henchman guy, which I just keep calling him that because it was just easier.
Yeah, we do learn here that his name is Ion, which is, I did not look up to see if there was an angel named Ion.
But he's just like, he's doesn't really like, working for Naomi sucks, and like, and talking shit about that in general. And so Castiel hits him and takes the bullet that he has pulled out of his gut, climbs on him, and shoves it into his eyeball to kill him.
Why couldn't he just push it up his nose?
I don't know. Does it have to like break?
Or his ear. Or in his mouth.
Something?
Like, I don't know. Like with the mouth, like if he swallowed it, would he die?
I don't know. It was very distressing.
I don't know. I feel like the eyeball was just maybe a little much. I feel like there are other holes you could have gone through that would have been less distressing.
But did it have to break a plane? I don't know. It was very upsetting. That's all I know.
That's not generally how swordplay works. I don't know. But he dead now. So no more ion. He got the ionic treatment.
So back in with Metatron, Dean is calling him out for hiding and listening to all these stories and reading all these books and not doing shit. And Metatron's proud of himself. He's like, look at all this, it doesn't matter, all the mayhem and murder, if all this coming just from the invention of God's naked apes.
And then he says something which is kind of profound, which is that when you create stories, you become gods of tiny, infinite universes. And I think that is just kind of awesome.
It is. I agree. I really do. Because we were talking earlier before we started recording about, I stay up too late reading about other worlds, and that kind of fits in here. But that's like, my preferred genre is not always like...
Yeah, but also pointing out that as you create these stories, there's this you can control this whole other universe and all these other people. You
create people, you create personality, backstory, the whole thing. You are creating a thing. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then you can go like, am I in a simulation? So don't think about it too much. Am I in somebody's universe? God damn it, is Vonnegut going to show up? Oh no. Anyway, so Sam tears Metatron a new one.
Yeah, because he's like, wait, so you're just reading about all this suffering and while people are killed and you didn't do anything? Which is kind of the point. And then Dean asks about Kevin's story. What about this? He got sucked into this angel crap with being the prophet, and somebody should have fucking looked out for him, but Metatron made him the prophet, essentially, and is just sitting around reading books.
I think Dean's saying, this is your prophet. This is your responsibility. He is the word of God's prophet. Like, you should take better care of your things, man.
Yeah, and he's dead now because of you. And then Kevin is taunting Crowley back on the boat about the third trial and shutting the door, and calls out that Crowley doesn't know what's on the demon tablet. And Crowley is big mad. And he's like, no, guess what? I've got the fucking angel tablet now. And he's choking Kevin out. And then Kevin starts glowy eyes like an angel, and he blasts Crowley back, and Kevin's gone.
He has been rescued by Metatron.
Yay! Yay! So, and he's very injured and not well, but Metatron touches his chest and heals him. Yeah, it's good stuff. And Dean asks Metatron, like,
how you get it?
How you get to this? Yeah.
There's angel warding. How did you get through there?
Right, and he's the scribe of God, so that I guess makes a difference.
He said he erased it, so he could erase whatever because he's the scribe of God.
That's a weird rule.
It is a weird rule, but I also think it would be very handy if you were in a neighborhood with a lot of graffiti that, especially like if people were tagging things you didn't like, you're just like, God damn, and then just like go, and or it is also just be really cool for artists too, right? Just like, hey, you guys want to come up and like, all right, someone's next turn. But anyhow. And then, unfortunately, Dean is also awarded by a Metatron speech because there's something that you're going to start to learn, and that as the word of God, he thinks he has a lot of words. And Metatron has a lot of words.
A lot of words. And Dean's asking, like, well, are you on our side to close the gates of hell? And that's when we get our speech. And what's it going to be like? What's it going to take? What's it going to be like after?
Which is a really good point, right?
That is a good point. Like, what's the impact of this? No one has discussed what's going to happen.
Like, you haven't thought, you just thought that closing the gates of hell was going to be easy. Like, you were just going to solve these questions 3 and then just, walk, and close the gates of fucking hell. Like, why would it be that fucking easy?
Nothing is.
Especially let a trial set by God. Like, that's like, those things are not easy and they always have consequences.
Mm-mm.
So apparently now they're going to start thinking about this. Finally,
Yeah, it's
maybe
an
a little
interesting
late.
time now. They're 2/3 of the way through this, and now they're going to think about the ramifications.
Men are idiots.
Cool. Yeah. But Kevin wakes up and he's like, by the way, I've got the second half of the tablet and I know what the third trial is. And Metatron knows what it is. He just says it. He's like, oh yeah, you got to cure a demon. Cure a demon. That's interesting. And so we get a scene of Sam and Dean driving at night, and Dean wants to know what it means to cure a demon, which is a reasonable fucking question.
I would like to know.
I would like to know too.
Like, is it like ferment it?
I think it's a different type of cure. You gotta like salt it and hang it out for a little while.
Demon pickle?
Like demon pickle or jerky. I don't know. Like, yeah. But Sam's like, I just feel better having a direction. We're almost to the end.
Which kind of makes sense though, right? Like his trial, like his body wants to do the trial and now he kind of knows where he's going. So he says he feels better with that.
And then there's a body in the road. Oh shit, that's Castiel laying in the middle of a dark highway.
Oops.
And that's our episode. And we never know why the fuck the old Native American dude that works at the hotel was in that historic photo.
No.
I just have a feeling that was not coming back to us, so I figured I'd point that out.
I don't know. It may. I honestly don't remember if we ever learned why he was there. But I think it's just like they've been there for centuries and they got gifts. And the gifts just got longevity.
I guess.
Or skin that don't crack. I don't know. Like, you got some really good skin in there. Like, I don't know. There's whatever Metatron gave them, they had to put up with Metatron for. And so let's talk. Because you notice how that nobody's in that hotel. Maybe it's just because Metatron wouldn't shut up, and maybe that's why that poor general manager is so traumatized at the front. And he's like, "Why are you here? He won't shut the fuck up." Like I said, I wanted to live forever, but I don't know. Take it back.
Let's say. I mean, he talked a lot, but I didn't think it was that much.
I think I just know what's coming. So let's go to casting call, and then we discuss some things. Right.
Let's get this cast because we've got just only a couple of note, but I want to make sure we get to them. So, our Demon Dean was played by Jordan Connor, and he is Sweet Pea in Riverdale, and he's been in episodes of The Magicians and Lucifer. Other things we enjoy. So, Esper, not Ion, Esper, one of our angels, was played by Nelson Lace. He's been in 4400, Fringe, Flash, Hell on Wheels, Van Helsing, Last of Us, and Shogun, and he was Beelzebub in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So, Metatron, whatever you think of the character in this show, is played by a pretty iconic character actor, Curtis Armstrong. Has been in episodes of TV shows. Booger. He's been in episodes of TV shows like everything from Murphy Brown, Sybil, Lois and Clark, Ellen, Felicity multiple times, Third Rock from the Sun, That 70s Show, Grey's Anatomy, Ghost Whisperer, iCarly, My Name is Earl, House, CSI, Scandal, Bones, Workaholics, and Stumptown. He was Miles in Risky Business. He was Charles in Better Off Dead. Booger in Revenge of the Nerds 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bert in Moonlighting for 37 episodes. He was a campus cop in Van Wilder, Mr. Ralph in Dodgeball, Morgan in Man of the House with Tommy Lee Jones, Mr. Welch in Mr. Welch in Aquila and the Bee, Morris in Smoke and Aces, Principal Foster in New Girl for 14 episodes, Dayglow Doug in Happy for 3 episodes, and Ezekiel the Cockroach in Doom Patrol most recently.
Yeah. That's his one, but yeah, no, he's always get some really big people for these angel characters, I think.
Yeah, they do a good job on that casting for sure. And he's it's an interesting choice because it's not like, I'm not going to say like they make the angels attractive per se, but let's just say that Mr. Armstrong, you are a very entertaining actor, but he's not your good-looking type. I don't know how else to say it. He's not classically handsome.
He's not your classic leading man.
No. So it's an interesting choice.
He's a character actor.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to get punched in the face pretty soon. So. Sorry, all the character actors are getting punched in the face. If you're listening to this at a later date, this is post Steve Buscemi getting punched in the face. So, anyhow, so it was a bold choice, Cotton, to put him in there, but also it makes sense, I think, for this character.
I really appreciate your dodgeball reference there because dodgeball. Thank you. But yeah, no, it was good. Interesting episode.
I think so. And it's our next season finale, right? So. Right. We're at the cusp of will they or won't they close the gates of hell? I guess we have one episode to find out if that happens. 2. This is episode 21. Are there 23 episodes this season?
I don't know how many episodes there are total. But I don't think the next one's the last one. But we're getting there.
Oh, no, it's not. So okay. Yeah, there's 2 more.
We're getting close. We're getting very close. So, yeah. No, I think it's interesting to meet Metatron. I'm relieved that Kevin is free because I was mad at Sam and Dean like you for just letting him like, oh, I guess he ran off. That bullshit. And then the interaction with Crowley is getting weirder to me. So I'm intrigued to see where that goes. Because he's getting very fixated on stopping them.
What do you mean?
Rightfully so. Well, I mean, just like he's going further. Like he did this whole like instead of just like strong arming, he did this whole thing to try to trick Kevin. He's got his double agent Angel. He's like going head to head with Naomi. Like he stepped it up in the aggression level.
Okay, yeah. Well, he is the king of hell now, so he's got stuff to do.
Yeah. So yeah. Cool. But I think it's interesting to find out what's actually going on in heaven because we're getting hinted around that not all is as it seems with Naomi.
Yeah, I'm also slightly confused about heaven right now because I just rewatched the last episode of Good Omens because there's a Metatron that's in there. And so I was, as part of the Metatron versus Megatron quiz, maybe that's a hint, I don't know. But I was rewatching that and there's a heaven in there, which is kind of similar to the heaven that's in Supernatural, but not the same, but kind of the same. And so my brain is going like, wait, which heaven are we in now? Where are we?
I do like Good Omens, though.
But yeah, fucking gaming and Pratchett. All right, so we're getting close. Anything else we got?
Not on this one.
All right, so I guess we'll see you next time. Cheers, Skirt.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios Podcast Network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.